For question 2, we have some more Excel data. This time we have some sales figures for new cars in New Zealand for September comparing 2006 and 2007. And in fact, the data has already been summarized into a table for us. And so in this question, we're going to concentrate on just turning it into a chart and then thinking about what it's actually showing us in terms of the changes from 2006 to 2007. Now for part A, we're actually asked to do a side-by-side chart. Now side-by-side is just another name for a clustered, and we're going to in fact use the bar chart with the horizontal bars rather than the vertical, mainly because we have some longer named brands and it will just look a little bit neater if we use the horizontal bars rather than the vertical bars. It fits the labels in a bit better. So all I need to do, since the data is already summarized, I'm not actually working with a pivot table here. I can just block on the rows with the makes and then the two columns of figures and go to Insert and select a bar. Once again, I'll just select the basic clustered bar. Say OK, and it gives us that chart. Now, as I said, pretty much Excel does all the hard work for us. We do need to do a little bit of tidying up, so we can just adjust the size, and that adds all the labels in. So when it first created, it wasn't actually big enough for all the makes of car to show up. We could have alternatively, if I just go back to the one we started with, if I click on those labels and go in and just make the font a little bit smaller, that can be another way sometimes to get all the labels to appear if you've got quite a few categories, which we do here with the 15 makes that we've got being represented. Now, being that we have both the sales and make, we've got then the two series of data, one lot for 2007, one lot for 2006, and so we just need to go in and rename the legend so that we have the correct labeling. So we can do that by selecting the Select Data button. So if we click on that, and you can see that it's got Series 1 and Series 2, you just click on each series and then you go in and edit, and you can give it a name, or you can in fact reference to the label within the data sheet. So here our series was representing column B, which was 2007, so I can in fact just use B1 as my name. And you can see Excel updates that. If I click on Series 2 and once again edit, this time it's my 2006 column, column C, so I'll go to C1 for the label, the name, say OK, and again we can see that's updated. It has in fact already updated on the chart, but we'll just say OK. So pretty much, other than adding in a title, and we could certainly go and do that. Probably have to adjust the font size to make our chart a little bit bigger again. So we could just have comparison of new car sales, and I could make that font for the title a bit smaller. And that certainly still then allows the makes to show up. Sometimes you've just got to play a little bit. And here, well, we could then go in. I mean, in some ways it's implied, but we'll go in and we'll add in the horizontal axis label. And we'll just say number of new cars. But we will now have to make that chart that little bit bigger to allow for that space that we needed for the label. Okay, so here the hard work in terms of creating a table was already done for us. We just needed to construct the chart, but I can't emphasize enough that it is still really important to look at that chart that you're producing. Think about if all the information such as the title, labels for the axes, the legend, make sure that's all there. Make sure that you can actually look at the chart and it makes sense, because then makes it easier to start thinking about, well, what is the chart actually showing us? And so certainly that's what we've been asked to do for part B. So we're interested in things like, what is going to be the largest category, and here we can see that Toyota certainly had very high sales, the highest overall for 2007. They did quite well still in 2006. We can see that Holden, Ford also had quite good figures 2006. They did go down in 2007. So they're the types of things we're wanting to have a look at. We can put that into a little bit of a summary, maybe say something like, apart from Toyota, sales in 2007 were on a par or lower than sales in 2006. So that's quite interesting just to note that sort of year comparison, as well as then the particular brands. The most significant falls occurred in sales of Holden and Ford. Toyota has the largest market share, followed by Ford and Holden. So lots of interesting points. If you were being presented with this chart in a report, the idea is that you wouldn't want to have to just look at the chart and work everything out yourself. You would want the commentary that you're reading through to sort of get you to focus on those sorts of ideas and the key points that the reader is wanting you to notice.